Hey everybody, welcome, welcome, welcome. It's your girl P. Koffe Brown, Coach P. Koffe Brown, and I'm so excited to be with you on today. This is going to be an exciting opportunity for me. I want you guys to give me just a little bit of grace because this is my first time presenting like this, and I'm ecstatic about it. We officially launched Nexus AI, our AI division of our organization, after I partnered with the most incredible queen of AI. She is now officially my coach in the AI space. I partnered with her last year. I actually initially met her in Atlanta a little bit of time ago. It's been significant time ago, and I crossed paths and I did not move to action at that time. But recently I said, you know what? I am going to go all in with AI. And believe me when I tell you, it has been an explosive learning journey so far. So today I want to bridge all the gaps and bridge everything together and kind of share with you a little bit of a historic lesson about AI. You see, most people don't really know historically about AI, where AI came from, whose idea was it? Like, right? Who came up with this artificial intelligence idea and why it is something that is valuable to us. Now, what you're getting ready to witness is presentations that I actually did myself through the use of AI. I actually thought of this idea this morning as far as teaching about AI. And then I came up with a blueprint using AI as to what I wanted it to look, feel, and sound like. And then I went into my superhero think tank, my AI think tank, and I came up with a amazing presentation. At least that's what I think. So I want you to take this journey with me as we dive into this AI experience. All right. So I want you to dive into this journey with me as we take this AI experience. Now, as I mentioned before, give me a little bit of grace because this is my first time actually presenting like this. So I wanted to make sure that I'm doing it effectively and efficiently for you. This way, when I go and present this out to the masses, I will have my game face on and ready, and it'll be popping and how it is supposed to look. So this is my training ground right now, right here with you guys. So welcome to P. Koffe's first presentation on This is AI. Again, I created all this on my own myself. I got into my think tank today and I created this. This is actually a PowerPoint presentation, but I did it through a particular AI entity called Notebook LM. All right, Notebook LM. And I'll be teaching you guys more about this. But before I do that, we're going to have a series. It's going to be called This is AI. And this is the name of the series. So I'm going to be teaching you guys some basic things about AI. Like, share, and follow me. Connect with me on all social media platforms. You can find all of my information at ceokoffe.com. That's ceokoffe.com. Listen, I am just totally in love with, my radio voice. I've always had this really cool radio voice, and thankfully I'm cute because I have been told that people with nice radio voices are not necessarily the most attractive people in real life. So thank God for my mom and dad. Amen. So here we go. Let's talk about AI. This is AI, where it started, why it exists, and why it matters now. Why it matters now. The true beginning of AI was in the 1950s. Now, I know some of you are like, what are you talking about, Koffe? This just happened yesterday. No, it actually did not just happen yesterday. This has been going on for 70 plus years. The onset of AI has been going on for 70 plus years. And a lot of us have just gotten to it in 2022 when AI actually went from the background to the forefront. AI has always been in the background in our lives in some way, shape, or form. And we're going to keep going so you can see how it has played a major role in your journey. And you just didn't know it was playing this role, or what it actually was. For some of us, that is. Not for everybody. I don't say everybody, but for some of us, we just did not know what it was and the role it was actually playing in our lives. Artificial intelligence is simply a teaching machine to recognize patterns. Really, what it really is in a nutshell, it's the ability to think about the next word. Massive amounts of information plus a set of instruction rules equals helpful predictions and decisions. It's not magic. It's a highly advanced calculator that processes words, numbers, and images instead of just math. That's exactly what AI is. The early pioneers asked a simple question: can a machine actually emulate and imitate human intellect? Can a machine take what's in my head and bring it to life outside of my head independently of me? And the answer is yes. We see it now every single day. In the 1950s, computers were just fast calculators. Visionaries wanted to know if a machine could be taught to solve logic puzzles, play chess, or translate languages by imitating human reasoning. Listen, y'all, this was back in the 1950s. All right. There's a actual scientist named B.F. Skinner. I was obsessed with him when I was an undergrad and the way that his brain worked. He was the guy that talked about the need for human connection. He literally denied one of his children human connection and gave his other child the affection and attention that they needed, and saw the one child deteriorate while the other flourished. And he came up with all kinds of things. I was so obsessed with his thinking and his logic. And I ended up earning an A+++ in psychology because I was so obsessed with him. And he was just that guy that I was like, why did he do this? And I was just dug and I wanted to know more about why he thought the way he thought. And that's one thing about scientists or innovators or visionaries is they just want to keep digging until they get the answers as to why something does or moves the way it does, or how it thinks, and all of the amazing things that innovators like to do, like myself. I mean, like, I have been in the think tank, y'all, for the past couple of days, and I'm like magnificently obsessed with everything that these tools can add to humanity. It's absolutely, it's marvelous to me, truthfully. The visionaries who built the foundation are Alan Turner. He's the one that actually came up with the concept of a machine thinking. John McCarthy, the name that coined artificial intelligence. He's the person that came up with AI, the name of it. Marvin Minsky, the networks, molded how the brain actually connects to identify how they could take the brain of a human and put it into technology and come up with artificial intelligence. And my favorite guy, I use him all the time, and this is where Claude AI came from. Claude Shannon. The logic applied math to information. So if you ever wanted to know where the name Claude came from, it came from Claude Shannon, the brains himself. And then Alan Newell, the programs, built the first AI software. And then Simpson, the first theory mapped human decision making, which was really powerful as well. In 1956, Dartmouth workshops set up an agenda at Dartmouth College in the summer. The summer goal was to give the field an official name, artificial intelligence, gather the brightest minds in one room and figure out how to make machines use language and form concepts. So this started in 1956 in a classroom at Dartmouth College. This wasn't a sudden technological accident. It was planned deliberately. Deliberate human project that has been evolving for nearly 70 years. AI was created to solve complex human problems, the human list. Now, this is where we have to understand as humans, if you think about all the information that we ingest on a regular basis, for me, when I first started building websites in the late 90s, it was a lot to build a website. You had to do it was so many steps, and it would take weeks to come up with a concept. But now I literally build websites for clients and customers and partners in maybe 30 minutes, an hour, sometimes a day, just depends on the complexity and the nature of what they want to express in their website. So it just depends on all of those factors, but it's not taking me over a day to build out magnificent actual websites. All right. So too much information to sort, patterns too complex to see, and calculations taking hundreds of years, y'all. Some of the innovation that we experience now, like, going into space and things like that, it took them hundreds and hundreds of years to do the calculations just to make sure that when they literally went into space, they could get back into the atmosphere as we know it to be. They had to calculate the actual time. And how many of you guys actually watched the movie Hidden Figures? Hidden Figures. These women were real women, and you saw how much work they had to do. You saw the computer room where all the computers were in one room, and then they had all the calculators, and then they had to run all those numbers. AI literally took the wisdom of those brains and dumped it into a tool to do the same thing in moments, not years. Not years. It's a time collapser, and it literally transforms the way we do business in totality. The machine solution was instant data sorting, recognizing hidden patterns, rapid calculation to assist human researchers. AI was designed to be a tireless assistant, augmented human capacity so we can focus on higher level thinking. Now, I will say this, when I first started using AI, I didn't really understand it. So I kind of did not, I got a little bit lazy with it, if you will. But when I started to really discover the backstory about AI and what AI really does and how AI really works, it kind of intrigued me, and it caused me to really start to dig deep, start pulling up books and all type of documentaries and things of that nature to discover more about this artificial intelligence, how it's going to impact humanoids, and what it's going to mean to us in the next 5, 10, 20 years. So there's a lot to unpack, but we're going to keep going so I can keep sharing with you just some of these little backstories and the backdrop of AI. You're already a successful AI user. See, most people don't realize this. Discovery, search engines, and product recommendations. Okay, now listen, AI has been tracking us for a while. We call it algorithms, right? But that's AI. AI is an algorithm. It has understanding of our patterns and what we suggest we want based on what we choose to purchase. It actually can tap into what it is that we're thinking about, in that these technological devices, they have a brain. They have a brain, and inside of that brain is designed to track your patterns and your behaviors. And we've been using this for quite some time, and I think a lot of us just didn't realize the magnitude of what we had already been experiencing because it was playing in the background. Navigation, GPS routing around traffic. How many of you were around to use maps? Raise your hand. I was, and I used to be tormented by a map. I would look at the map, and then we would sit there and identify how we get into this place and that place. And I would just be looking like, what, huh? and I would just get frustrated with it. But I put it in the GPS, and then I'll go look inside that map and tie it to the GPS. Now it makes sense to me. And then you have voice activations like Siri and Alexa, understanding speech. Let me give you a prime example. Hey, Siri. Hey, what's the temperature right now?
It's 71 degrees right now.
Thanks, Siri.
You're welcome.
And just like that, artificial intelligence has been at our fingertips. for quite some time. So Siri has been around for a while, and so has Alexa. And guys, just because it kind of showed up on the forefront here over the last 3 years, it really has been in the works for 70 years. They were just attempting to try to figure out how to move it forward. And once they figured it out, here we are. Security banking, fraud alerts, blocking weird charges, all of that is AI. There's a computer running on the back end, artificial intelligence that will trigger your behavior. It knows your patterns of behavior. It knows what you do. There's certain things, we'll talk about this in some later episodes, that you really shouldn't do online. As far as banking is concerned, there's a little hack that can tap into your credit and everything. I'll show you exactly what I'm talking about later on. Okay, you're giving some of these things permission and you didn't realize that you were, but we'll talk about that in other episodes. Communication, email spamming, filters, catching junk. You ever notice you got a junk folder, spam? It knows that those things are not what you normally connect to within the scope of your email behavior patterns, and it literally puts it into junk mail. If it's something that it feels wouldn't be advantageous for you or something that would add value, it literally puts it inside of the junk folder. What changed? AI stepped into the center stage. Invisible AI analyzed data quietly in the background, sorting, filtering, and predicting. And then the present generative AI interacts directly with you in plain English, writing, brainstorming, and summarizing. And like I just gave you the demonstration on my cellular device, that is the hello, how can I help you brainstorm today? I'm all ears for your ideas. So ChatGPT, Claude, Gemini, Notebook, LM is again what I did this presentation on. The technology didn't just get smarter. It learned how to talk to us. It learned how to communicate with us directly. All right. It learned how to communicate with us. It learned how to connect with us in real time. Establishing wise boundaries, the tool versus truth matrix. What AI is: a mechanical synthesizer of human data, a tool for extreme efficiency and brainstorming, highly capable but frequently imperfect and prone to do what? Guessing. What AI is not: it is not God, it's not omniscient or a source of divine truth. Why? Because it is human made and it's flawed because it's made by humans, hence the term artificial. Not wisdom, empathy, or lived human experience, not a replacement for your personal, dig this, discernment. All right. So I don't want you to think that AI has come to, replace the creator of the universe, because the creator of the universe is irreplaceable. All right. Your next step is to adopt AI with wisdom and purpose. You keep your perspective. Remember, it's just a tool built on a 70-year history. Guard discernment, always review, edit, and apply your own wisdom to what AI generates. And then 3, try it with purpose. Pick one simple task this week that you want to explore. So let's talk about this in the journey of AI. I created a video as a result of the content I just shared with you. And I want to show you guys this video that was created. It's going to give you some images of the thought leaders that I just talked about that were the pioneers for AI, and kind of give you a little more details on AI. Let's watch this video together.
Artificial intelligence just dropped out of the sky a year or two ago to complicate your life? You are not alone. Many of us felt completely caught off guard. But the truth is, you and I have actually been carrying on a quiet, highly practical conversation with artificial intelligence for a very long time. Think about your email inbox. For years, an invisible assistant has been checking messages and moving the junk mail out of your way. Or consider your bank. When they text you to ask if you really bought a television in another state, a machine is recognizing what does not belong in your normal spending habits. Look at this photograph of these early handheld GPS devices. When you type in a destination, the machine actively calculates the fastest route by predicting traffic and road conditions. That prediction is artificial intelligence at work. This animated diagram shows exactly what artificial intelligence means in plain language. It is simply a machine that has been trained to imitate human thinking to solve a specific problem. Once we see it as a helpful tool we already use to solve everyday problems, the intimidation starts to fade away. To understand how we arrived at today's technology, we must wind the clock back 70 years. This is a long, thoughtful human journey. This historical portrait shows a mathematician named Alan Turing. Back in the 1950s, he asked a simple question: could a machine be built that imitates human thought? And this photograph shows a scientist named Claude Shannon. He is physically testing a small robotic mouse in a maze, looking to see if a machine could learn how to navigate obstacles on its own. These early experiments led to a summer gathering in 1956 at Dartmouth College. A group of curious thinkers, including John McCarthy, Marvin Minsky, Alan Newell, Herbert Simon, and Shannon, came together to share their ideas. Their goal for that summer was to organize their work under a new name: artificial intelligence. They wanted to figure out if computers could actually be programmed to reason and form concepts the way humans do. So the technology we use today was not cooked up overnight in a modern tech startup. It was carefully planted decades ago by scientists trying to understand the wonders of human thought. This photo shows a room filled with massive vintage computer cabinets from that early era. For decades after that 1956 workshop, AI required huge physical machines exactly like these, operating entirely out of our sight. During this long, invisible era, the technology acted mostly as a very fast sorter. It organized your web search results and figured out which books to recommend to you online. In the early 2020s, these systems stepped out from the background and appeared on our screens as interactive chat windows. We started seeing tools like ChatGPT, Claude, Gemini, and Notebook LM. For the first time, anyone with an internet connection could talk directly to the machine. This diagram illustrates the change. For years, data blocks were neatly organized into piles. Now, those blocks merge together to form something entirely new. It means the machine upgraded from a passive calculator into an active brainstorming partner, working with you in real time. This explosion in use happened because we stopped needing to speak the computer's code. Once machines became fast enough to predict the next word in a sentence with high accuracy, they could finally meet us halfway and respond in our own language. Knowing where this technology started helps us see that AI is the next logical step in human toolmaking. It is a human invention, built by people trying to solve problems. This whiteboard graphic clearly outlines the boundaries of this technology. It is not God, it is not perfect, and it certainly isn't human wisdom. It will make mistakes. Because a machine lacks a soul, it cannot replace your judgment. It absolutely requires your discernment, your values, and your wisdom to be used safely and effectively. You do not need a computer science degree to start using these tools. If you know how to ask a question or have a conversation, you already have the skills you need. I invite you to walk forward and approach AI with curiosity, a clear purpose, and a healthy dose of confidence. Starting with a 70-year-old foundation gives us a steady place to stand. It turns a confusing technical explosion into a manageable human tool that we can choose to master together.
Isn't that amazing? Isn't that amazing? I tell you what, I love this. I love it. I think it's powerful. I think that we can learn so much from just understanding artificial intelligence, how it impacts us, how it adds value to our life, how it adds to everything that we're doing, that we're creating, that we're building, that we're just manifesting. Let me show you something right here. This is my intellectual property. It is the blueprint for something that I am going to eventually build out. And I actually did this through the power of AI. I mean, literally through the power of AI. And what's so exciting about this is that when I actually created this, I literally was in my car driving, y'all. I literally created this in my car driving. This is the blueprint of it's a master blueprint of a campus for a school. You know, for those of you guys that like know me very intimately, you know that I'm a teacher at heart. I love students. That is that is something on the inside of me that is just irrefutable, a gift that God gave me, a heart for teaching. You know, it's just something that's on the inside of me. I can't get away from it. I can't shake it to save my life. I just can't get rid of it. It's a part of, it's an innate part of who I am as a humanoid. And so it is my assignment to teach. You know, I do it in my sleep almost literally. You know, interestingly enough, I was in the store today and I came across this lady who was asking questions about something in the store. And as she was asking the questions, the guy was sharing with her. And then I kind of asked her, I said, do you mind if I give you a little insight? And as I was sharing, the guy said, you should have asked her, you know. And I just shared with them just because of my history. That's the only reason why I know these answers is because of historically where I've come from. And I'm so excited, you know, about our AI division, and the blueprint that I just showed you is actually a AI agent. His name is Arthur the Architect. And this is what Arthur created for me after having a brain dump and sharing with Arthur what I wanted to do. I have so many different images of this, and the structure, the design, and how it fits into the state where I reside, and all of the things. There's certain things that in the state where I reside currently that are required for you to have certain structures erected. And then it went and did the research for me based on the state where I lived at, the county that I want to build in, all of these different things. So before I go to a developer and a designer, I'll have my full investor pitch deck. I'll have my capability statement ready to roll, showing them, you know, my expertise and all of these different things, and what I am able to bring to the table, along with the individuals that are going to walk alongside me when I do take this journey. And it is just exciting. It's just exciting how I can just sit with my cellular device after creating an agent and have a intellectual conversation and build a monstrosity right from my phone. I put a social media post up. I was showing you guys when we rolled out. I'm going to show you guys right here now when we rolled out my new little buddy. His name is Arthur the Architect. So when I rolled him out on yesterday, I rolled him out on social media. You'll be able to see it on my page. But this is a house. I was just literally meeting with my daughter today about the house, the design of it, the structure of it, how it's designed, how it flows. This is literally, this property is only 4,900 square feet, yet it's literally it's a monstrosity. And I was sharing with her how we can redesign it and do some different things with it. But this is so powerful to be able to see this in real time. And it's literally, I had a customer when I was in the insurance industry. I had a customer literally that actually built a home like this. So I know that it can be built in the state where I reside and in the county in which I want it to be built in. So it was so cool to have that come alive. I got all the specs for it. I got the blueprints. I have everything that I need. So when I get ready to go and find the land, I can go to a developer and I don't have to pay them all of the money to get everything together for me. I'll already have it ready for them. I know what kind of materials I want and everything just off of creating an AI agent. All right. It is so powerful. If you are interested in something like that, DM me. I will connect you directly to my community that I'm a part of and get you into one of the programs for you to start doing AI. Listen, it's amazing. It's powerful. It's something that is absolutely incredible. And it's something that you can learn how to do the same way I learned how to do it, the same way others are learning how to do it. And in the year 2025, this was like the number one, according to LinkedIn, and a couple other collegiate institutions research, the number one and number two and number three most sought after positions now, guys, are within the artificial intelligence community. And dig this, you don't have to step out of your field of endeavor to participate in AI. AI is in every single industry. Every single industry. And the agent that I built, Arthur, that's only for the actual construction ecosystem. Now I'm getting ready to build another agent. I just reached out to somebody in a different industry. It dropped in my spirit today to reach out to this particular individual. There's some things that are missing, and I want to be able to solve that problem for them. So I'm going to be creating an agent for another industry that really needs a agent. I may have to build 2 or 3, just depending on what exactly they are in need of. And it's exciting for me. So if you have something, in your industry where you say, you know what, P Coffee, I don't know if I need an agent. I know you need an agent, but and I don't know how this works, but can we set up some time to talk about it? Absolutely, absolutely. You can connect with me at ceocoffee.com. You can connect with me at ceocoffee.com, or you can actually send me an email directly to pcoffeebrown at pcoffeebrown.com, or send me a DM right here on social media, and let's talk about it. Let's get you what you and your industry need. Let me tell you, it's so many things that we need. Listen, and you cannot take the human out of the element. The only thing that organizations are doing now is they have an expectation for you to learn AI. I was watching a program about this multimillionaire who told his employees, he called a board meeting when the first open AI money was transferred, when they first went in and brought, it was crazy. He was talking about the innovation and how Amazon and everybody was getting on board, and all these big conglomerates, even Lowe's is on board. They were just talking about these big conglomerates and pushing all this money into AI. He literally said, if you do not use AI before you come into this meeting asking questions about anything, I'm going to release you on the spot. And he said, I'm not being rude or mean, but this is the way that we do business. If you want to continue to partner with us, you must utilize AI. And some organizations have put their foot down about it. Some haven't, and some have. Nonetheless, every industry is impacted by AI. Every industry is going to have to utilize AI, whether they want to or not, is going to be irrelevant. It's the same concept as when the computer came out and everybody was like, I'm not going to use that. I don't need that. I don't want to do that, yada, yada, yada. And here we are, fast forward, you got a computer literally inside of your hand, going with you everywhere that you go on a regular basis. This is literally a computer. For real, for real. You can do practically everything you do on your MacBook or your ThinkPad or whatever device you use on a regular basis, to be able to do all of your endeavors directly, primarily from your phone. So we all are going to be utilizing it. Again, whether we want to use it or not is irrelevant. We are in the age of AI, and it is what it is. It is what it is. And I want to be here to add value. What we deliver is real-time results. We work with you with your workflows. We work with you and dispatch and deploy an agent for you to utilize for your business. If you want the licensing, we offer the licensing for it to be exclusively yours, and nobody can take that intellectual property from you. We do have agreements and everything else, legally binding agreements that we utilize to make sure that everything is on the up and up from a legal perspective for certain things that people want done that they don't want anybody else to have access to. Listen, we don't play games. We've been at this for a long time. I've been in business for a long time, and I've been running this particular company for well over a decade. All right, so it's been a long time, a great journey for us, and now it's time for us to add value to you. We don't just talk about it; we actually deliver. All right, so we deliver. We're here to deliver, to make sure that you get what you need for yourself and your corporation. All right. So for more information, you can visit my websites at www.jcameronpublishing.com, www.ceocoffee.com, www.arthurbynexus.com. That is our first official AI agent. Or again, you can email me, pcoffeebrown@pcoffeebrown.com. And I created this image with Chat GPT. All right. So when we do these trainings and I share more with you about AI systems, how AI works, I will be sharing with you the tools that I utilize in order to create what I create. But if you want to learn step by step how to create it yourself, and you say, Koffe, I don't want to be the person that is dependent on you and your company. I want you to teach me, train me. I would love to add value to you in that way. And I have done it on several occasions, both with civilians and with different ministries as far as teaching and training and coaching is concerned. And I've also done it with over 1,000 thought leaders via published bodies of work, AKA books. AKA books. So I would love to be the person on your side to teach, train, and coach your team and to get you guys ready to execute. I don't just teach, train, and coach. I make sure that you guys are ready to implement and to execute. Again, here is my contact information for you to reach out directly to me. And I deal with for-profit and non-profit entities alike. All right. If you need to get more details from me, if you need my competency statement or anything like that, please send me a direct message for my team to get that over to you. And or you need a proposal or anything like that, just DM me or reach out to me directly. So I'm super excited again about this aspect of our company being launched officially. Into the deep we go, and we're excited about it. The Nexus AI division of J. Cameron International Publishing Boutique, LLC. All right. And I'll tell you guys just a brief backstory about the reason why I named my parent company that name. My dad's brother, his name is James Cameron. He was in the Vietnam War and he was a veteran and served the nation. And then he went on to work for the Postal Service for years and years. But my uncle, I call him my Uncle Dad. My biological father is completely blind. And so my dad was limited in his ability to like be able to go specific places with me and do certain things with me. And so my dad's brother, my uncle James, became my dad's eyes for me. And I used to call him Stanky because he was always really mean, like, and he wasn't really mean, he was just stern, and people just misinterpreted his sternness. But his wife called him Cam, and I used to call him Stanky, and he would call me niece. That's what he would call me. And I spent a lot of time with my uncle understanding the dynamic of my family, understanding my dad's journey and his life and things like that. It's my dad's elder brother, and for a long time, my uncle was like my buddy, man. I call him all the time. And then my uncle departed this life. And when he passed, I was devastated because my uncle was, I called him my Uncle Dad. He was like my dad with sight, basically. And when my uncle passed, it was hard for me, very rough for me to deal with him leaving this life. We all have to go the same way, right? But sometimes it hits us a little bit harder when certain ones of our loved ones depart this life. So anywho, I was pondering what I would name my parent company one day. And as I was sitting there, I was looking at a picture of me and my uncle sitting on his porch, and he had on his Vietnam vet hat. And I was sitting there and I said, J. Cameron, that's what I'm going to name it. Jay Cameron. And I called his wife and I told her, I said, I'm going to name my parent company after Uncle James. And she was like, oh man, he would be so honored that you did that. And I was like, yeah. And I believe he'll always be with me in my heart for sure, man. I love my uncle like I love my dad, for real. Seriously, that was he was very, very impactful in my life and the way that I think and the way that I move now in my full grown age self. So that's where the name J. Cameron International Publishing Boutique came from, is my uncle dad, my Uncle James. May he rest peacefully and in power for sure. So, needless to say, family, I have enjoyed this opportunity of sharing with you guys. Normally, the crew is with me, but this is a special edition of the P. Koffe Brown Show, and I wanted to just give you guys some intake, give you guys an intake moment just to inhale with me, what we've just tapped into and kind of break down where we are, what we're doing, and how we're adding value these days. And I'm so excited. So we'll be back for our regularly scheduled program with our regular podcast crew and look forward to more of these sessions. It's going to be called This is a You guys enjoy the balance of the day, and I appreciate you stopping and just listening to me doing this. And this is my first presentation. So if I had some hiccups, charge it to my head and not my heart. So good night, family, grace and peace. Great to have you guys with me. And thanks again for tuning in to the P. Koffe Brown Show. Bye for now.